But first up in the inaugural Sydney Sevens, Fiji and Samoa. Fiji ranked number 2 on the World Series so far. Players to watch for Timo Rovovo, the point scoring machine so far this series for Fiji. And Samoa Toloa has been a special player for the Samoan team. Let's have a look at how they line up for the first match, and stars are plenty in that Fijian lineup. Go to number 11 and 12, Rawatha and Rovovo. They have been in point-scoring form. And for Samoa, we've already mentioned the man that is going to be on the bench, Toloa, but Sally, the captain in jersey 2, has been inspirational so far in this 2015-2016 HSBC Sevens World Series. Greg Clark in the chair for the first match. Alongside me, former Tongan international who has made the trip across the Tasman from New Zealand, Willie Lose. Welcome to Sydney.
Yeah, good morning, Greg. Thank you. It's great to be here, and what a wonderful occasion. And these two sides, the big thing for me on day one, after a weekend in Wellington where Fiji would have been disappointed finishing 3rd, but Samoa to me is a team that's getting better and better each tournament, and I think they can upset the Flying Fijians.
Two very passionate rugby nations, very special in the game of sevens. And Fiji, as you mentioned, 3rd in Wellington. They'll be disappointed with that. They're the reigning HSBC Sevens World Series champs. They won in Dubai, won the plate final in Cape Town. 3rd in Wellington. Our referee is Richard Kelly. And for Samoa, haven't qualified for Rio yet. They lost the plate semi-final in Dubai, won the Shield final in Cape Town. They won the bowl final in Wellington. This is a Pool C encounter. And I can tell you that Fiji has won the last 6 matches against Samoa. The Samoans haven't beaten the Flying Fijians since 2013. Port Elizabeth in a cup quarter-final. What an exciting time. The inaugural Sydney Sevens are underway, and that is a perfect kickoff by Samoa. Sally managed to snatch it out of the air, and now they put it through the hands, looking to go wide. Mia Lloyd, poor pass though, and into touch goes Tom Iosefo.
Disappointing start there for Samoa. Wonderful from their captain Sally to get up and to claim the line out, and then just some sloppy work. Really, very little Tom Iosefo could do to try and control that.
I'm on the mark. Step down. Come in, please.
Bit of a slight fumble there, but Kunatani manages to control it. They can go coast to coast, the Fijians, no doubt about that. Rawatha, dummies, turning them in, turning them out. Eventually, he's pulled to ground.
Good.
And the turnover is good by Samoa. So the scrambling had to be good on that occasion. But gee, it was pretty ordinary defence to allow Rawatha to break a couple of tackles, and now Sally needs to settle it. He lays it back, a bit of pressure coming in at the breakdown from the Fijians, and they get the penalty. This is where they're very dangerous. They look to the right, now they go to the left. Rawatha, will he go on his own? Yes, he will. Unmarked men on the outside, but he didn't need them. Sevenatha Rawatha scores the first try of the Sydney Sevens.
Here's 58th in his career. He started it from a long way out, and once they broke downfield, it was Tane Lamb that got the turnover, but then the penalty there, they got isolated. The quick tap from Rovovo, right option, gives it to Rawatha, and that's a wonderful way to open the Sydney Sevens.
Lucky he did score that one. Unmarked men on the outside. He backed himself, and I guess if you've scored 58 tries, why not back yourself? Conversion is successful. So it is 7 points to 0. Fiji over Samoa. Argentina and France are the other 2 teams in this pool. Pool C, there he is there, 16 tries. So he just closes the gap a little bit on the series leading try scorer, Siabelo Senatla, the flyer from South Africa. A reminder, the team scoring the try in the Rugby Sevens kicks off. This time they go long. And Samoa now with an opportunity to hit back. Foy Eventually claimed by Tuai. Wide ball out into midfield. Olosio. Tupili goes wide. Punipo Nafoa, and a beautiful ball on the inside to Tupili again. Mialoi backing up. This is better work from Samoa. Breaks down there through Gregory Foy. And the penalty goes against the attacking team, holding on. So Fiji, this is where they're so dangerous, taking that quick tap, and Semi Kunatani, beautiful back on the inside.
Advantage, tackle entry.
Advantage being played.
Advantage over.
Kunatani, the man from Toulouse nowadays in France, and he gets the offload back to little Jerry Tuai. He says goodbye. Nobody in front of him. The man from Maris scores another try.
Yeah, put it down to their captain, though. I see it. Kolini South. Samoa got isolated. He got the penalty, the turnover, the initial turnover, and then they just tapped and went very quickly. Kunatani, one of their best players in the Fijian shirt, just takes it to the line. They're patient. They retain possession. They had a penalty advantage here. And Kunatani, well, look at the footwork, look at the power. And then the option taken here to give Jerry Tuai one of his easiest of his 28th in his career.
Fatimo Ravovo from Toka Toka, leading point scorer in the series with 158. He was a leading point scorer in Wellington last week with 43. This one is out to the right, so I'll put the mocker on him. Apologies, Fatimo.
It's just amazing, isn't it? Just comes down to possession. Samoa have had their chances, or they've had the ball, and then they've just turned it over. They've got isolated or been penalised, and Fiji showing why they are the series leaders.
And wherever they go around the HSBC Sevens World Series, they have wonderful crowd support. 10 events on this current series. Plenty of Fijians in Sydney and the general region around this part of New South Wales. Just keeping it alive, looking for a gap. And this man, one of the best offloaders on the circuit, Pio Tuai, the 32-year-old. Polenazao, the captain, fires one over the top. Couldn't quite link up with Kunatani, but he gets it out now to Ravovo. And now they just retreat a little and set it up again. Looking for something over on the far side. Rawatha. Tuai. No, it's not. It's Katonambao. Back on the inside to Jerry Tuai. He has got a double.
Look at the number of flags that are flying and the amount of Fijian supporters in here very early in the morning, 11 o'clock local time. They must feel like they're back in Nandi or Suva, the Fijian side, because the crowd roars when they pull some of the magic out like this. Katonambao came back on the angle, and then the offload to Jerry Tuai, but it's the damage being done by Pio Tuai for me, Greg. He's drawing in 2 or 3 defenders from the Samoans, and that's what's creating the space.
And from right in front, Ravovo makes no mistake. So that's one-way traffic in the first half. 19 points to 0. Fiji over Samoa. All about possession in sevens, and Samoa just haven't been able to get their hands on the pill enough. Well, they've had it. Yep. It ended in a penalty for holding on at the breakdown. So we've got time for the kickoff. And now siren sounds in the background. The siren has been taken from one of the Sydney Harbour ferries, which is a nice touch, keeping it local. Unipo Nafoa, their playmaker, just 21 years of age, and he has a man on the outside. Oh, Alafosio Tapili couldn't control it. Great break though by Unipo Nafoa. So half time in our first match at the inaugural Sydney Sevens, and it is Fiji leading by 19 points to 0. Looks like they're on a mission after missing out on a title in Wellington.
Oh, we see how angry they've been. Terrific crowd in here this time of the morning. And Samoa have had their chances. They need to get the ball into the hands of Hunopō Nufara a lot more. Be interesting to see what Ben Ryan's got to say to his troops.
One thing off our kickoff, if they're Duta and we're defending, we have to connect quick. There was a hole on the right of Batimo, and lucky they didn't see it, but we got to connect and go forward. First phase, line speed. Yep. And in attack, make sure, because we're going to have, I told you what you're going to do. You're going to make tons of line breaks. We've got to chase through. Second match. The opportunities are, when we open the door like that, last week, we've got to make them. I'm more worried about the fact that we're giving it to them. If we get in there and we push the focus on the homework on the pocket man just take it in, reset, we don't need to go back out. Take it in, win that break and play again. They held the ball, give it away, they score. Let's not give the ball away, Jim. Get your heads up. Half time,
Both teams coached by Englishmen, Ben Ryan, coaching Fiji, and Damien McGrath, the former assistant with the England team, coaching Samoa.
That's interesting what Ben Ryan had to say there for me, Greg. He just talking about the line speed and saying that from the kickoff, we're not being accurate. It's what you kind of expect when you're in a year where the Olympics is going to introduce sevens, and that's a big talking point for this year as far as I'm concerned. And so Fiji, they've never won a medal at the Olympics.
And they've been competing at the Olympics since 1956. Go Fiji. Rio, here we come. 12 teams will be competing for gold in the men's and women's sevens in Rio. Second half underway. Kickoff made by Rovolvo, and a good bounce for Fiji. Support on the outside came off one of the Samoans' hands, and up aside, Domololai says thank you very much. What a start to the second half.
Well, the kick was accurate. Kotono Mbiao got up and he batted the ball back, and in the game of sevens, the stats that we've got say that 90% of the teams that win the kickoff score the tries. There it is. 2Y goes through the gap, and then the little bobble from Rovovo, the offload again, and Domololai standing out on the left flank scores the first try in the second half, Fiji's fourth.
Domololai coming off the bench and getting a meat pie, as we call them here in Australia, a try. From out wide, not a bad attempt. Off the woodwork. So it is now 24 points to nil. Fiji over Samoa. Fiji missing Amosi Mulavoro, who shares the playmaking role with Jerry Tuwai. So Viliami Mata is a replacement for the injured Mulavoro. Look at that, Samoa giving the ball away 5 times. You just can't afford to do that in sevens.
6 missed tackles as well, starting to mount up for the Samoans.
Sally dragged down from behind by Veramalua. Sloppy play, but it's been cleaned up out the back by Tusutala, and now Yosefo went backwards, and now the penalty goes to Samoa. They need to do something. Over halfway they go. Here's the captain. Sally goes to ground. Big line up out to the left, but the Fijians, they don't panic in defence. They read that one pretty well. Tuatangaloa is out there in jersey 11, former New Zealand Sevens representative. Now that's good backing up from Tusutala. Rovovo read that pretty well. Good stepping. Tusutala. Tuatangaloa. Sally. Support play is good. Pulling us out. Couldn't make the tackle. Now to the left. Switch of play. Foy. Trying to get on the outside. Kulunisau holds on. He pops it up to Tua Tongaloa. Not a lot of room to move there, but they managed to stay in the field of play, and now holding on is the call. Terrific defence by Fiji. Just didn't panic.
And Jerry Tuwai, the smallest player on the field, got the turnover, and he wants to get on with it.
That's why they call them the Flying Fijians. And on the outside now, Mode, Nathangi. See a little bit of turf coming up over in the far side. They've had a new surface laid at Allianz Stadium in the last month or so. So we might see a little bit of that.
That's a big divot to replace. But Samoa, they started playing up the middle of the park, Greg, where they had players out wide. They had initially broken Fiji, but they just don't have the confidence to go on with it. They've got to get the ball into the hands of players like Tusitala and Hunopo Nofoa. They're the steppers. They're the guys that will create space. And then they need the finishers.
Still no hole there for Alessio. And the penalty again going against Samoa. So nothing going right for them. They have a big contingent of supporters as well. A big Samoan community in Sydney. Mode. Nathangi. I believe Mode in Fiji is goodbye, and he almost said goodbye to them, but the inside pass was knocked on.
Blue 11.
Just a couple of unforced errors now starting to occur, and just looking at some of the stats there, Fiji may have made more tackles, but Samoa have missed more, and that's been the biggest problem for them.
Time on. Crouch.
Little after 11 a.m. local time, and cloud cover. I'm sure the players will appreciate that. No rain forecast for the remainder of today, and weather forecast for tomorrow is favourable as well. Pretty good for the fans as well, because it is a sellout when they all eventually get here. Oh, tackle! What a tackle. Osia Kulunisau, he drove the shoulder in.
Putting the ball on the ground.
Now, Fiji. Couple of minutes remaining. Sila, Very Malua, and Ravovo finding big Theo Tuwai. Very Malua. Damalai. Always looking to offload the Fijians. Nothing happening on the short side for Ravovo. Sila. Over the top it goes to the captain, and oh, it's drifted forward.
Yeah, I was going to say how appropriate that captain gets it. No real advantage because the Samoans are up offside, and so Kulunisau gets on with it.
Yeah, he was playing advantage. Fiji got the penalty, and in the end, it was Kulunisau that got the try anyway. Caught them napping. 92nd try on the HSBC Sevens World Series.
Incredible, isn't it? 858 to that captain. Fantastic. And Kulunisau, he sprinted basically after the penalty was awarded. Look at him, he's come there. The Samoans hadn't got back, and he just put his head down and drove over for the first try in the second half. This game was done and dusted at half time.
Ravovo adds the extras. Well, he's now number 5 on the all-time try-scoring list for Fiji. Gee, there's some great players on that list, let me tell you. So 31 points to 0. Fiji over Samoa. And we still have a half a minute to play. Samoa won the bowl final last week, and I must admit I thought that would give them plenty of confidence going forward, but they just haven't been able to get into this match against the second-ranked team on the World Series at the moment, Fiji. Now, can they have the final say? Good footwork again from Hunopo Nofoa. Seli as the hooter sounds. So hard to stop. And Lamb. Knock on will end the match. So that is full time and job done. Fiji will be happy with their opening performance. And their fans are very happy as well. Fiji 31, Samoa 0.
So one game down and plenty more action to come across the weekend here at the SFS in Sydney.
I'll say a good start for the team. Defence very important.
Yeah, that's one area where we wanted to improve from last week. It was a bit disappointing, but we wanna show in our first game that we were upward, and we told ourselves Samoa is not an easy team, and whenever we meet, it's always physical. So we needed to man up in our defense.
Enjoying Sydney week here. So how's it been so far?
It's been pretty nice in Sydney. It's a nice city, and we're thoroughly enjoying the weather.
Have a great day.
Thank you very much.